All right, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. I got a book that I want to chit chat with you about. Okay. It is one where it took me 2 days to read. You heard that correctly. Me reading a book in 2 days? No. You all know that I am a slowish kind of reader, okay? I don't read books fast. But this one here, Extinction Horizon, book one in the Extinction cycle by Nicholas Sansbury Smith. This one here took me 2 days to read. This was such a high, adrenaline-fueled, intense, non-stop action read. From the prologue to the very last page, the author did not let up at all. Okay? I'm going to give you a quick snippet of the book. That's it. You know that's what you always get. All right, so you are following a military team who is led by Sergeant Reed Beckham. Him and his team are escorting this one scientist to some unknown location where these other scientists, they handle level 4 biohazard material. The place went dark. Lost communication with the government or, other military personnel. So when a place like that goes dark, they had to figure out what is going on right away. So the team is headed there with this one scientist just in case things are bad. They are ordered to collect a sample of what the lead scientist, Dr. Medford, was working on. What they think he was working on was a cure for Ebola. That is true, but he was also given orders by Colonel Gibson of the U.S. Army to create a bioweapon. He gave this doctor access to a chemical that they used back in Vietnam that was a very deadly chemical that killed the enemies very quickly and very quietly. It was called VX-99. So he gave him access to that chemical, and he already had access to multiple strains of Ebola. So what the colonel wanted him to do was create a bioweapon. The colonel was tired of so many men and women dying on the battlefield. He was trying to reduce the amount of boots on the ground during war. So he said, come up with a bioweapon that we can use to kill our enemies very quickly and very quietly and reduce the amount of boots on the ground. Well, he created something. He created, I guess you can say, a super soldier. Okay, this is a post-apocalyptic book. He created zombies. So think of I Am Legend. Great movie. Loved it. The zombies in that movie were very strong and very fast and very smart. The zombies in this book, they are very strong and very fast, but they're not smart. I don't believe that their brain is intact like the zombies were in I Am Legend. So these aren't your ordinary moping around, dragging feet kind of zombies. These are zombies where if you see one of these, you better haul ass because they will come and get you, and they travel in packs. And your survival rate is probably like 5%. Okay. So they get away from the facility. They get what they need to get. take it back to the colonel, and don't want to say too much, so I'll continue with saying that the timeline in the book is, I believe, a week. So on how fast this virus was spreading, because before the place went dark, Dr. Medford had sent one of his people, I believe, to go back to Colonel Gibson or somewhere to tell him what was going on. But the guy ended up getting the virus. So there was a patient zero that was traveling from wherever they were at to try and get to Colonel Gibson. And from there, it was just spreading like wildfire. So like I said, the timeline in the book is a week. Within days, the world was in complete chaos. That's how fast the virus was spreading. And when he got back, when Sergeant Reed Beckham and his team, which is Team Ghost, got back, they had to go back out and rescue 2 other doctors that needed to stay alive. They needed to get them back to where were they? Not Fort Braggs, but I forget what they called it. Wherever they were stationed at, wherever Colonel Gibson and everyone was stationed at, to at a secure location as the world was in chaos. The one doctor dies, the other one lives, and now this one doctor, Kate Lovato, she's being looked at as, you need to save the world. Do what you gotta do and save the world and find a cure. All right, this is all up to you now. So that's the gist of the story. So just imagine how chaotic the book gets, because like I just mentioned, the timeline is a week, but within days, the world is in chaos. So just picture the anarchy in this book. The writing was absolutely amazing. Okay. This author has a way of just keeping your eyes locked on to these pages. I felt like I was reading each page in seconds. I wasn't speed reading, but I was reading fast because of how intense and how quick the book is. And I was very surprised. So I said it took me 2 days to read. I started it Friday night, and I remember I had to run out for something. I forget now. It's irrelevant anyway. But I had to run out. If I didn't have to run out, this is a 339-page book. I was finishing this book Friday night if I didn't have to go out. I know for a fact that I was. Because before I went out, I got to page, I think it was like 170. And I started it Friday night around 6, 7 o'clock. And I think I ran out around like 9:30. And I got that far into the book. I was finishing it that night. So, yeah, the writing, excellent. The characters. Okay, so here it is with the characters. The book is straight mayhem from the beginning, okay? You're with Sergeant Beckham and his team. You're with the one scientist, and then you end up with the other 2 scientists that they saved, the one that dies, and then Kate Lovato that lives. But there wasn't there wasn't a connection with any of the characters. And you guys know me. For anyone who does know me, I am a character driven reader. That is what I look for when I read a book. It doesn't necessarily kill the book for me. Like, I won't DNF. I mean, I don't DNF a book anyway, but I won't not be into the book because of there's no connection with the character. But that's just what I prefer. I like to grab onto a character, and there just wasn't anything grabbing me to any of the characters up until the halfway point. Halfway point on, I was locked on with Sergeant Reed Beckham and Dr. Kate Lovato. I think the author, from what I'm getting at, I feel like the author did that on purpose. I think he wanted to just give you the chaos of the book, you know, give you the anarchy of what's happening in the book, and then build you up and have you gravitate to a character, because you started to feel their emotion. Sergeant Reed Beckham and Dr. Lovato, they're starting to become closer because of, you know, Sergeant Reed Beckham saves the doctor, and, you know, she, you know, is so thankful for that. And they start to form this bond with each other, and she's constantly wanting him around, and he's starting to, you know, gravitate towards her more. So halfway on, you're gravitating more to those two characters. At least for me, at least for how I took it. And the other ones, you know, he has members on his team, Horn and Riley. Riley's a young guy. He's there. And Horn he's there, but he's also a big part of the team. I think he's like Beckham's right-hand man. And, you know, he got the news of his family being in some location that is completely wiped out now. So he's down and out, but Beckham is trying to, you know, build him back up, saying, hey, listen, you know, just because we got news of that location being wiped out doesn't mean your family's dead. Get your ass up, let's move, and let's try to figure out if we can get to that location to try and find your family. But just his character in general, I'm not hooked on his character yet. I'm hooked with Beckham and Dr. Kate Lovato. So, but besides that, yeah, this book was one intense book, one intense read. I was going to jump right into the second one, but I'm not. It's a 7-book series. I just started another book. Should I show you? Yeah, I think I will. I started Alone Together by S.S. Fitzgerald, and it's going good. It is going very good, but that's not what this video is about. Trust me, when I'm done that book, I will be talking about it. But yeah, if you haven't read this, or if you haven't even heard of this book, I feel like Nicholas Sansbury Smith is a huge author. I know he has quite a few series out. You know, I heard of him years ago, and I bought these books years ago. But I think there's a lot more to his name. But yeah, put this one on your TBR. I hope I intrigued you guys enough to give this one a shot. Now, if you like a post-apocalyptic book, zombie type book. This one, it's action. It's intense. So I highly recommend it. And that is it. All right. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night, evening, morning, whatever it is for everybody else in the world. All right. Stay strong, stay positive, but most importantly, stay focused. All right. See you next time.